Because it's like my pantry is kind of scary looking. Because it's like my pantry is kind of scary looking. These are the skeletons in my closet. Welcome to Soba's Corner. In this episode, we are going to be making a dish that was invented in Montreal, Quebec, peanut butter dumplings. Also known as Hunan dumplings, this Montreal favorite is inspired by a Szechuan dish that is topped with ground peanuts. So let's get down to it. Let's start with the dumpling filling. In a small bowl, mix together 1 clove of minced garlic. I put in 6 because you can't have too much garlic. 1 stalk of minced green onion. 1 teaspoon of grated fresh ginger. 1 tablespoon of toasted sesame oil. 1 teaspoon of tamari sauce. Now struggle. And I mean like really struggle with trying to open a jar of sambal oelek before adding half a teaspoon. Then add half a teaspoon of fish sauce. A 1/4 teaspoon of ground white pepper. And tap the bowl a few times for good luck before adding 8 ounces of lean ground beef or pork. I use pork. Then get distracted because your cat Soba decides to come into frame. Now you can mix everything together until it's thoroughly combined and you see speckles of green onion, garlic, and ginger throughout, as seen here. Now you're going to sprinkle some flour on a metal sheet or whatever working surface you prefer. Put aside a cup of water or milk. Take out your wonton wrappers and just start laying them out. Oh, but don't forget to let Soba sniff some because she's always wondering if what you have in your hands is something they can eat. And now you can start scooping half a teaspoon of filling into the center of each wrapper. So once each wrapper has a dollop of filling, you're going to wet a finger side and outline the edge of the wrapper with it. Then fold the wrapper in half, bringing one corner slightly past the center of the opposing edge. I like to crimp 3 points, where the 2 edges of the wrapper meet and make a V. You might be confused as shit right now, but don't worry, here's a close-up of how to fold this dumpling baby together. Now repeat until you run out of filling or wrapper. Set aside the ones you'll eat now and freeze the others for later. Soba's tip: when you freeze them, let them freeze on a plate or baking sheet without touching each other for at least 5 to 10 minutes. Then put them in a freezer-safe container or baggie. If you don't do this, you're gonna end up with a Franken dumpling. So you've been warned. Okay, to the sauce. In a small saucepan, combine 2 cloves of minced garlic, 1 tablespoon of grated fresh ginger, half a teaspoon of fish sauce, 2 tablespoons of toasted sesame oil, 3 tablespoons of unseasoned rice vinegar, 1/4 cup of water, 1/4 cup of tamari sauce. Then tap your measuring cup an unnecessary amount of times before adding 2 to 3 dried bird's eye chilies crushed. This is optional, but everyone needs some spice in their life, so just add it. Now close a Ziploc bag with all your unresolved anxiety, stress, and other fun feelings that have only been heightened by COVID before adding a 1/4 cup of unpasteurized honey. I just use regular honey because I don't have unpasteurized. Now you can take a quick honey snack before smacking the lid closed on your honey squeezy bottle. And then get your honey into the pan by so effectively tapping the measuring cup many a times. And we're just gonna take a quick break to admire how adorable Soba is. Before adding half a cup of creamy peanut butter. While making the sauce, you can start boiling some salty water. Okay, back to the sauce. Use a spatula to mix ingredients and bring to a simmer over medium-low heat. Or at least try to. For like several minutes. And then get really confused about why your sauce looks nothing like the one you see in the photos. Then try to save it by adding a lot of an unspecified amount of peanut butter as the water beside you has reached a raging boil. If you're cooking with someone, exclaim loudly, "What the fuck is that?" and "What the fuck is this?" Finally, bring out the whisk that the recipe originally asked you to use, but you decided not to because you didn't want to scratch up your nonstick pan in a last-ditch effort to save the cement that has become your sauce. Now you can drop your dumplings into boiling water for 2 to 3 minutes if they are fresh. Soba's tip: don't overcrowd the pot with dumplings. Let them breathe. Once the dumplings are floating and tumbling around, use a slotted spoon or strainer to scoop up your dumpling babes into a serving bowl. Top your mountain of dumplings with the cement that you made. Okay, so here I forgot to garnish the dumplings with some toasted sesame seeds, but you could do that now. And finally, after 3 long hours, you can mix that shit together and chow down. Surprisingly, the mixing and heat of the dumplings brings out the sauce. So you can salvage whatever self-esteem or self-confidence you might magically still have. And that's peanut butter dumplings for you. I hope you have better luck with your sauce than I did. Do let me know how it goes in the comments below. And I'll see you next time for our next Chinese Canadian food adventure.
For Alberta's economy to function, you know?
Yeah.
Ooh, we closed it.
That's a good blooper.
Welcome to this week's episode of Soba's Corner. Today we're going to be making Alberta ginger beef. Side note, put the beef flank steak in the freezer for 10-20 minutes before slicing. While you're waiting, chop up your veggies for the sauce. We're going to start with peeling and cutting into matchsticks 1 large carrot. Now, remove the core and seeds of a red and green pepper before cutting them into matchsticks too. Just a heads up now, you might not use all of your matchsticks. Just go by what feels right for you. Now, thinly slice 2 stalks of scallions. Keep the white and green parts separate. Okay, now grab 15 cloves of garlic. Jokes, jokes, you just need 3, but I use 6. And say hello to Soba! I don't know why, but Soba loves garlic even though it could kill her. She just loves garlic oil stir-fry broccoli, and I can't do anything about that, so. Anyways, we're gonna get back on track. Now, smush and peel and mince your garlic babies. Now, grab a large spoon and use the edge to peel 1 tablespoon's worth of ginger. Then grate that shit. It is taking me a while because my microplaner is dull. So if you have the extra income, I'd suggest having 1 dedicated microplaner to ginger because it is a tough ass root. Okay, back to the beef. Take it out of the freezer and start slicing it into 1/4 inch thick strips. Think of those chicken fingers from KFC or PFK in Quebec, which they were selling at one point. I don't know if they still are, but I was into them. And during this process, you might have to fight off the shark that is Soba. The first attempt might not work. so this could be a repetitive activity. All right, to the batter. Start by adding 1 cup of cornstarch to a large bowl, 1/4 cup of all-purpose flour, 1 teaspoon of white pepper. Now tag out your spoon for a whisk and start whisking until well combined. Then add 3/4 cups of water and 1 eggo. Before mixing everything together, it's gonna feel like what I imagine stirring wet cement is like. Once it's smoothies, this is not necessary, but you can throw in a little dance break here if you want, before throwing in all of your beef fingers and coating them well in the batter mixture. Now for frying. Fill a large deep pan or wok with 1 to 2 cups of oil, depending on how wide the bottom of your pan is. You want a little hot oil pond so that your beef fingers are mostly submerged during their fry bath. To check if your oil is ready, take out a pair of giant wooden chopsticks and dip it in. If you see a healthy and happy amount of bubbles around the bottom of the chopsticks, you are good to go. You can start throwing in a few beef fingies at this time. Don't overcrowd the pan because they need space to breathe. And also it lowers the temperature of the oil when you put too many in at a time. So once you're done frying them all the first time, you're going to fry them again. I know frying things is scary, but you've come this far and no one likes limp, sad ginger beef, so fry them again. It is worth it. I actually had to do this off camera because it turns out this hot plate doesn't get the oil hot enough, ironically. To make the sauce, grab a large pan and add 2 tablespoons of oil to preheat. Then add 4 tablespoons of soy sauce in a bowl. Yeah, and then magically a wall of ingredients appears in front of the sauce bowl, blocking your view, so y'all are going to just have to trust me when I say I then put in 6 tablespoons of rice vinegar, 6 tablespoons of rice wine. I did not have any on hand, so I used white wine. Don't come for me, please. 5 tablespoons of sugar, 1 tablespoon of sesame oil, 1 tablespoon of red pepper flakes. I did not have enough, so I substituted the remaining with gochugaru. Again, please don't come for me. Then I added a little something, aka MSG, at the end, because it just makes things taste even better, and I felt like it. Okay, now that the oil has heated up, add your garlic, ginger, white ends to the scallions, red and green peppers, and carrots to the pan. Then stir that shit for around 2 to 4 minutes. You want them cooked, but not overcooked. Okay, don't forget to whisk together your sauce mixture before adding it to the pan, because I almost did that. The sauce won't thicken by reducing with heat, so you're going to make a cornstarch slurry now, which is 1 tablespoon of cornstarch and 2 tablespoons of water. Whisk it together very well before adding it to the pan. After this step, you're going to have to move quickly because the sauce gets thick real fast. Once the sauce is thickened to your desired consistency, add the fry bits, aka the beef. Make sure you coat them well. Nobody wants dry ginger beef. Once they're all coated, add the green ends of the scallions that you put aside. Do one last round of tossing. Then plate it. Okay, we're almost done, I swear. If you're feeling fancy, wipe the edges of your plate clean with a paper towel or clean rag. Then you can sprinkle some white sesame seeds on top for that chef's kiss aesthetic. Channel your inner salt bae. And there you have it. We got ourselves some spicy, gingery, sweet and savory Alberta ginger beef. If you don't think you can finish a whole plate by yourself, invite a COVID-safe friend to crush it with you. If it's good, maybe they'll give you a high five. And thanks for joining us for another episode of Soba's Corner. We look forward to seeing you in our next episode, whenever that may be. See you next time!